Now, by these two equations, okay, by these two relations, you can compute the controlling forces for different radii of the ball. Okay, for different radii of the ball. For example, you can compute it for 50 mm, 60 mm, 70 mm, 80 mm. Right? Now, let us look out the graphs here. So, how we are going to obtain the controlling force for different centrifugal force as well as the radius here. Right? Now, let us go for on the horizontal axis as a radius. Okay, on this vertical axis as a controlling force. Okay, controlling force. Now, so as a definition, controlling force is equal and opposite to the centrifugal force, right? Equal and opposite to the centrifugal force. So now that controlling force may be computed by, so may be computed or computed by. So what is the centrifugal force equation here? M omega square into R. Okay, M omega square into R. Now let us go for the calculation of centrifugal force for different radius as well as for different speed here. Okay. Now let us calculate one centrifugal force. Let us take this as a OC1 for one radius. Okay. Similarly, OC2, C2 for another radius, or you can go for a speed. Sorry, this has to be 2. Now this is what a 3. Now this is what a 2. Okay. Now these are the forces obtained based on the centrifugal equations, or these are the curves obtained based on the centrifugal force equation. Okay. So now these may be drawn on the diagram providing the values of controlling does for different radii at particular speeds here. Okay. You can draw with respect to the other equations, so you can get the controlling force diagram. Okay. Now the intersection of the speed curves with the controlling force curves. Okay. Now if you draw the controlling force with respect to the speed curve. Okay. So now you are going to get one more curve here. Okay. Now this curve is what? Controlling force curve neglecting friction here. Okay. Neglecting friction, right? Now these are the curves obtained based on centrifugal equation, centrifugal force equation, right? Now suppose that the point P, suppose that the point P on this point, on this curve, okay, on this curve represents the mean speed of the governor, represents the mean speed of the governor. Okay, R is the corresponding radius of the balls. Okay, R is the corresponding radius of the balls. Okay, right? Now if the speed increases to P1 here, okay, if the speed increases to P1, okay, now what happens here? The radius of ball also increases here. The radius of ball also increases. Okay. Now thus moving the sleeve up and closing the throttle valve to the required extent. Okay. Now similarly, if the speed decreases, okay, if the speed decreases, now the controlling force is going to come to this point P2 here. Now it is going to come to point P2. Let us go for 2 here. That means this is more clear. Otherwise, you will get a confusion. This is a C, right? P2. Then what happens here? So radius automatically going to drop down. Radius is automatically going to drop down. So now resulting the lowering of the sleeve and opening the throttle valve for further. Okay. So now this will increase in the speed. So now this type of the governor is said to be stable. Okay. Now this type of governor is said to be stable. Right. Now coming to the another type of possibility. Okay. Suppose if curvature is a little bit flat, that is what controlling force curvature is a little bit flat. Okay. Now let us look over the possibility here. Now this is what radius, this is controlling force. Now let us draw some curves here. Now these equations are these curves are controlling force using centrifugal equations. Okay, just to keep in mind. Okay. C1, C2. Now just look out here. So the curve which one is drawn here, okay, which one is drawn here? So little bit of flattish nature here, okay, flattish nature. Now let us again take here. So point P, okay. So it is equilibrium speed at radius of R1, okay. Now this is what point P2, point P2, okay. Now this is what a point P1. Now in this case, so the variation of speed is not too much here. If you consider the variation of speed, it is not too much here, okay. So but the variation of the radius is too much difference here. Variation of the radius is too much a difference here, okay. Now in this case what happens here, so as the radius of the rotation is too much variation, okay, too much variation, you just observe here the closeness of radius here, r is here, r1 is here, r2 is here. But for the case of stable governors, you just look out, the radius of rotation is almost all closer here. Now this type of governors are going to cause an unstable, okay. So now you can call such governors as unstable governors, okay. Such a governor is unstable, right. Next, one more possibility of finding out the controlling force is here, okay. Suppose if the controlling force obtained with the help of equations what I noted earlier one, and also by the equation of a centrifugal force, okay. Now this is a controlling force drawn with respect to the centrifugal force equation, okay. Now this is what a centrifugal force here, sorry, controlling force, not centrifugal, controlling force. Now this is what radius, okay. Suppose if the obtained curve based on the equations, okay, based on the equations, then the curve follows as the straight line here, as the straight line here, okay. Now this type of governors you can call the as a isochronous governor, okay. isochronous governors. So sometimes it is not possible to get the isochronous governors because of the frictional forces. Suppose if the calculated controlling force based on the centrifugal equation as well as based on the resolved equation with respect to the mass of the ball as well as mass of the sleeve, if the curvature are going to get a same, so then you can call such type of governors as a isochronous governors. Okay. So now this is what isochronous governors. Right. Now, suppose these are the curves obtained based on the neglecting the account of friction here, neglecting the account of friction. Suppose if you consider the friction into account, so now you are going to get a two more curves of the controlling force. Okay, so you are going to get two more curves for controlling force for the same radii. Okay, for the same radii. Now let us look out here. Suppose if you consider the friction into account, now this is what a radius. Okay, now this is what a controlling force F2, this is controlling force F1, right? F1. So when you will get, okay, so when you will get, so when you consider friction into account for plotting the curves, okay, based on the equations, above equations. Now you just look out here. So how the curves are going to plot it if you consider the friction into account here. So now these are the intersection points at G and at H. Okay. Now let us go for this for speed of n1. This is for speed of n2. Okay. Now this curve is going to obtain. So when it is going to increase, that is what ascending nature. Okay. So this curve going to obtain when it has the nature of descending. Okay. So this is what when speed increasing, you are going to get this type of curve. When speed decreases, you are going to get this type of curve here. Right. Now, what are the parameters you need to consider for particular in case of accounting of the friction here in consideration of the friction. So now for steady run, okay, suppose if you want to go for a steady run here, first case, so now you need to neglect the friction. Okay, so already you come across these curves in earlier diagrams. Okay, neglecting friction. Okay, suppose when the sleeve is moving up, okay, so when sleeve moves up, so now frictional force is to be what? Is to be positive, right? So when sleeve moves down, okay, so now frictional force is dF and negative. Okay, so if you consider the plus or minus sign, you are going to get the different curves here. Okay, now you got one intersection line here for a particular radius. Okay, for a constant radius, that is what H and G here. Okay, that is what a GH. That is what GH. So now this indicates. So this signifies that the radius of the ball does not change while the direction of movement of the sleeve does. That means even though the sleeve make changes of its position, so the radius is not going to change. So now the speed is which is going to the speed between what are the speeds here between n1 and n2, between speeds n1 and n2. Now in this case the governor is insensitive. Okay, so in this case what happens here? The governor is insensitive. Right? Now if you took out all the radii of the balls within the range, okay, within the range. So now there are two speeds for no change of the radius. Okay, you just look out. If we consider all radii of the balls within the range, there are two speeds. Now what are two speeds here? Okay, for no change in radius. For no change in radius. That is for the case of ascending, and that is for case of descending. So now you need to find out what is the coefficient of insensitiveness in this case of controlling force. In this case of controlling force. So now coefficient of insensitiveness is noted as n1 minus n2 divided by n. Okay. Now you just observe what is the equation you have noted for sensitiveness. Okay. So now for sensitiveness you have noted n2 minus n1. For insensitiveness you noted n1 minus n2. Okay. Now, so here n is the corresponding speed neglecting friction here. Okay. So n is, you can take it as a mean speed. Otherwise you go for according to definition, don't get confusion, mean speed. Okay. So now this is known as coefficient of insensitiveness, okay, where n is the corresponding speed. So neglecting friction. Okay. Or you can write in the form of mean speed. So this is what n1 minus n2 equal to n1 plus n2 divided by 2. This is equal to what? 2 in bracket n1 minus n2 divided by n1 plus n2. Right? Now, sorry. Now n is the corresponding speed. Let it be. Sorry. Now I noted n is the corresponding speed neglecting the friction here, right? Now, what I have noted here, so n is corresponding speed, okay? So neglecting friction, right? Now, as you are going to take a variation of the speeds between the range of n1 minus n2, okay, n1 minus n2, so you can consider this factor as a mean, okay, as mean. So otherwise now let us look out here, otherwise just consider n1 plus n2 divided by 2 equal to n. Now what I do, I'll just multiply n1 minus n2 divided by n is equation. Now I'll just multiply here n1 plus L2 divided by 2 on numerator as well as on denominator. Now what equation you are going to get here? Can anyone give? What equation you are going to get? If you multiply this equation, what is the equation you are going to get? What is the
n1 square minus n2 square divided by n into n1 plus n2
n1 square minus n2 square, okay, divided by n in bracket n1 plus n2 divided by 2, right? So here also you are going to get divided by 2. Is it right? Right? Fair enough. Now, if you further simplify this one, if you consider n equal to n1 plus n2, then the coefficient of insensitiveness is n1 square minus n2 square divided by 2n. Okay, n1 square minus n2 square divided by 2n, right? So now by this equation you can calculate so coefficient of insensitiveness. Okay? Now just note down, we'll go for two more problems here. And one more thing here, the other authors gone for different method here to find out the value of the controlling force here. So now they have gone for drawing some diagrams with respect to the speed as well as with respect to the radius and controlling force. So then they have gone for directly plotting the requirements here. Okay, let it be. Now this is a case here. Now on left side vertical axis you have a controlling force, on horizontal you have a radius, and on vertical line on right hand side, so they have gone for speed here. Okay, they have gone for speed. Okay, so you can refer Rathan or you can refer some other book. Just giving some clearance here. So the concept is same, finding out the controlling force is same. Okay, now these are the three type of controlling force you are going to get. So based on the condition of governor, that is what governor is stable, governor is unstable, or governor is a isochronous. Okay, so sometimes it is not possible to get the isochronous governor because of the consideration of friction. So friction is always there between the axis of rotation of the shaft as well as sleeve. Okay, right? Now if you consider the effect of friction here, you are going to get the variation of speeds in accordance with the same radius of rotation. So one is because of ascending, another one is because of descending. So when it is going to increase the fuel, that means when it is speed is decreases, automatically it need to increase its speed. So then there is a might change in speeds for constant radius. Okay, might not a big speed change, might be 3 or 4 revolutions per minute or maybe 10 revolutions per minute. Again it all depends on the coefficient of increase, that is what a c value. Okay, it is based on the c value. Okay. So now you just note down, okay, each arm of a Porter governor each arm of a Porter governor is 180 mm long and is pivoted on the axis of rotation. full point. The mass of each ball is 4 kg, and the sleeve is 18 kg. Full point. The radius of rotation of the balls is 100 mm. Okay. When the sleeve begins to rise, rise 100 mm, when the sleeve begins to rise, and 140 mm when at the top, when at the top. Full point. Determine the range of speeds here. Okay. So now determine range of speeds. Also find the coefficient of insensitiveness. If the friction at the sleeve is, if the friction at the sleeve is 15 Newton. Okay. So now first note down all given datas. Okay. So first note down all given datas. Okay. Now arm length is 180 mm. Okay. Now it is a Porter governor. Now you just draw the diagram first. If you draw the diagram, then it's 25% of your work is over. 25% solution is over. Okay. Okay. So arm length is 180 mm. Okay. So what is this radius here? First radius is 100 mm. Okay. Now this is 100 mm, and second radius is 140 mm. Okay. Now this is a Porter governor. Don't get confusion with Hartnell and Porter. Okay. So now Porter governor is going to get an arm, but Hartnell governor is going to get a bell crank lever arm. Now let us take this as H1. This is what H2. Okay. This is how much 180 mm. Right. Two positions, R1 equal to 180, R2 equal to 140. Okay. Now just to note down. So arm length L is how much? 180 mm. Okay. Next mass of ball, small m is 4 kg. Okay. So capital M is 18 kg. Radius of rotation R1 is 100 mm. R2 is 140 mm. And ball begins to sleeve. So you need to find out what range of speed. So determine range of speed. Okay. Then coefficient of insensitiveness. Next, if the frictional at the sleeve, okay, so if the friction at the sleeve is what small f equal to 15 Newton. Okay. No. So the first thing is that you need to find out, so what is the h1 and h2, because you need to find out speeds at h1 and speeds at h2. Once you got the speed at h1 and speed at h2, so you are going to get range of speed. Okay, you are going to get range of speed. So now let us find out first. First let us find out, so height of the governor, h1 at r1 equal to 100 mm, right? R1 equal to 100 mm. So now h1 equal to what? Square root of, use Pythagoras theorem, okay, 180 square minus 100 square. Someone quickly calculate and give the answers, don't waste your time.
149.66.
149.66, okay, so 149.66 mm. Okay, similarly height of the governor, h2 at r2 equal to 140 mm.
113.13, sir.
So h2 equal to square root of 180 minus 140 square. How much is h2?
113.17.
113.17 mm. Okay. Now, the thing is that first you need to determine the speed of, sorry, range of the speed. Okay, and also find the coefficient of insensitiveness if the friction at the sleeve is 15 Newton. Okay, range of speed has to be calculated without consideration of friction. Then insensitiveness coefficient is to be calculated based on the coefficient of friction. Now let us find out what is the range of the speed neglecting coefficient of friction. Right. Now, so let us use the speed formula here. Okay, so we know that n square equal to 895 divided by h in bracket small m plus capital M divided by small m, right? Now n1 at h1, okay. Now let us look out here, n1 square equal to 895 divided by h1 is how much here? So it is 149.66 mm. You convert it in terms of meter, right? Small m is 4 kg, okay. So capital M is 18 kg. So now you find out what is the n1 here.
181.33 RPMs.
Now similarly n2, How much into
208.53.
208.53 rpm? Okay. So now range of speed, this is equal to what? N2 minus N1, 208.53 minus 181.33. Whether it is a 28 or 19. 19 plus 9, 20,
27.20.
27.20 rpm. Okay. Now, so next bit is coefficient of insensitiveness. Okay. Next bit is coefficient of insensitiveness. Now this is equal to what? N1 square minus N2 square divided by 2n square, right? 2n square. Now you need to find out N1 and 2 considering the frictional force. Considering the frictional force, right? Now, so now let us find out speed at h1. Now you need to go for any one speed here. Either you need to go for, okay, let it be n1 square minus n2 square. So you just go for consideration of friction here. Okay, so consideration of friction. Now I'll write the equation directly for n1 square and n2 square. Okay. Now for the same height you need to consider, okay, so for the same height you need to consider either you can go for h1 or either you go for h2. Okay. Now they have written here equation 895 divided by h. One thing is that you need to consider friction force as a positive for sliding up. Another thing, for sliding down you need to consider it as a negative. Okay. Now let us consider as a moving up. Okay, minus 895 divided by h in bracket mg plus capital Mg minus small f divided by mg, so all divided by, now without consideration of friction, okay. Now we need to go for 2 here. Let us go for 2. Now in this case h get cancels here, 895 is also going to get a cancel. So what else remains here? You just substitute mg plus capital Mg plus F divided by Mg here minus Mg in bracket capital Mg minus F divided by small mg. So now we calculate. Again further you can simplify this one. Okay, so now if you took mg as outside here, can you simplify further this one? So if you took mg as 1 by mg as outside for numerator, so what else remains here? Mg plus mg plus f. Okay, now here minus mg, now this is small mg here, minus capital Mg, minus into minus plus f. Okay, I think you got a 2f mg You just check it. You just check it. Now equations you have written in a book is, I think 2 to get cancels here. So you have 2 term here, 2 to get cancels. Okay. Now I'll write final equation. You just cross multiply. Now I'll write final equation. F divided by small m plus capital M into G. You remember this equation for Porter-Governor for finding out the coefficient of insensitiveness. Now this will be in terms of percentage, how much you are going to get. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಾರೋ
0.069.
0.069. That means 6.9 percentage is the coefficient of insensitiveness. Okay. Now for your CIE you have 2 chapters here, CAMS and governors. So 1.5 question from CAMS and 1.5 questions from governors. Okay. So you go up to today's class and go through the all problems. Okay. You go through the all problems. Okay.
Hello sir.
Sir,
ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಯಾವ ಬುಕ್ ಇಂದ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕುರ್ಮಿ ಬುಕ್ ಇಂದ ರೀ?
ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ರತನ್ ಬುಕ್ ಇವು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ.
ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬುಕ್ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ.
ಸರ್ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಏನು?
ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾವ ಸರ್.